but these are published on the website. We're one of the few companies, if not the only company in the faucet business that publishes our lead times on the website. So easy to figure out what the lead time is. Helps you decide, do we want to go with this finish or not this finish? Not necessarily a lot of times on price, but can I get it in the lead time that my customer needs? So once I'm in the blue here, and what this tells me is this is the 37 series, which is blue. -2 tells me it's a widespread faucet, and the BL2 tells me the handle. If it was a BL3, it would be the cross handle. And we'll see that in the price book in a second. And then you have the different categories of pricing here. You have spec sheets and install information that can be easily downloaded right here. So if we go to this spec sheet, just so you see how it works, it gives us the information as far as the dimensions of the faucet and all that kind of stuff. And then there will also be an install sheet as well. And we won't go through that right now. If somebody does need CAD drawings, they're here as well. It's typically usually an architect or somebody who may be needing that information. It would be here. So it's pretty straightforward how the website works and how you find the products. If we go back to the blue here, so in the price book, what you have is blue, and we have 2 options of handles. If there are 4 options, 1 option, 6 options, they will all be listed right here on this page. And then it will give us a code of what this handle is. So BL2, BL3. And then when we come down to here, we have these little sheets that give us an overview of everything that's available in this series. So if somebody's looking for exposed shower, I can look and go, okay, blue has an exposed shower. If they're looking for, pot fillers, yes, we have pot fillers in this series. So that kind of gives you an overview of what's available in the series. And if it's not available, then it won't be listed on this sheet, obviously. And then it tells you here we have BL2, so that's the lever handle. And then if we go to the next page, it's going to give us everything that's available in BL3. So again, we just take this number. So if we're doing a 2-hole widespread or 3-hole widespread, 2 handles, 37-2 BL3 in this case would be our part number. And then all we have to do after that is add the finish code. And the same thing applies all throughout here. The same would be here if we were talking about a thermostatic or pressure balance valve. We would have the handle code in here as well, so we know which one it is, because it's going to be for example, a 37P80 is going to be a 37P80 in a BL2 or a BL3. So you just identify the handle code. Then once you get that information, you can actually pull all your specs from that sheet as far as the part numbers that you need, and then you can actually price it later, and you can price it either from the website or from the catalog. The catalog, you can't totally get away from it, because one of the things you're going to need, for example, we'll look at a wall mount faucet here. So this is a 37-1.2. We see that the little star there. So we need to identify the handle. So we're just going to say we're going to use the one that's in this picture, which is a BL2. And so BL2, but if this was a BL3, it'd be the same thing with just a cross handle here. You're not going to see the picture of both. You're just identifying this is the product that I need. It gives me my categories of finishes, and then it tells me right here that there's something required. So basically, anytime there's something, whether it's a wall mount faucet or a shower, there's typically going to be something that needs to be in the wall. So I would need the price book here to be able to identify what I need. And if there are multiple options, they will all be listed here. You'll see that in a shower system. And then I have options down here that I can add to this faucet. And one of the new things that we added, we'll talk about in a minute, but you can make all of these an automatic faucet. You can make it an automatic touch on and off. You can make it an automatic metered touched kit, which means we turn it on and it's going to run for a certain amount of time and then turn itself off. And then you can do, and these are where we're actually touching the faucet, and then you have the same 2 things in the touch free, where it has the not a infrared sensor, but an electronic barrier. So once you break that barrier with your hands, the faucet will come on. And again, you can have it on a metered or just a touch faucet. This, just so you know, this can be added to pretty much all the faucets, and you can use any spout if you didn't want to have handles on it, from all the different ranges, and even in the kitchen as well. And we do get that request sometimes for people who want, like, maybe a bar faucet to be not to have handles, just be touch free for cooking purposes, prep faucet. So here we drop down. We were in these products, and then we just continue on going through the different products. Again, it will tell us if there's something required. So here we need a valve for the tub filler, or a rough for the tub filler, so you need all that. So if it has something required, it's going to be listed here. It does not tell you that on the website, so you do need the price book to verify what's needed. Another thing, and we can look at this again, so let's go back to the website, because we're one of the few companies that offer. So we'll come over here to shower, and we're going to do mini thermostatic. So we're one of the few people that offer a mini thermostatic shower. So as you can see here, it's a much smaller footprint. The discussion is a 3.5 inch versus a typical 7.5 to 8.5, depending on the series of your traditional thermostatic showers. It also comes in with built-in controls. So as you can see here, you can do two cross handles together, or one cross handle on one lever. You can't do two levers together. So here, this one is designed a little bit different than, say, a Brooklyn is, or a different one, but it's the same function inside. And so this makes the shower much cleaner, which is the trend that we have seen for the last year or so, is customers going away from, all these different things inside the shower. And quite frankly, most of the time showers now are a shower head, possibly a rain head, and a hand shower. Not many body sprays or other kind of features in the shower today. So this allows them to really clean up the inside of the shower. The footprint is much smaller. So if you look here, I'll just show you on this one, for example. If I look at the spec sheet, the overall height of this is 6 3/8, and the overall width is 3.5. If I go back to the standard thermostatic, with built-in controls, so the sister to this, you can see here, it's a round plate, and I look at the spec sheet, it's going to be like 7.5 inches. So you can see much smaller. It's like half the footprint of it almost. So much cleaner inside the shower, and that is the trend that we have seen. So we launched that about a 1.5 years ago, and so every series now, we started with just a couple series to get started, but now every series has that mini thermostatic available. And it can be, as you saw, it can be with the built-in controls, or where you would have your thermostatic valve and then separate volume controls with it. Okay. So we'll go back to the beginning of Watermark here. And let me just jump over to the price list again real quick. So if we're in the price list, again, you'll see in this, the mini thermostatic, you have what is required here. You have 3 choices of the valves that go in the wall. So you have a 1/2 inch with the volume control. You have a mini thermostatic valve with volume control with a 2-way diverter, and then also a 3-way diverter. And then here it gives you a little, you must specify the BL3 trim, which is going to be the cross handle. And if you want the cross and lever handle, it's going to be this number, but it's going to be BL3 for the cross handle. So you can see the different options that you have here. If you need the technical information on this, you can just plug this number into the website and it'll pull it up. It'll give you how it functions. It'll give you the how many gallons per minute. All that information will be on that spec sheet. And then you just continue through adding the different pieces. There are no kits any longer. There used to be kits where we had like a hand shower, a shower head, and a thermostatic valve or a pressure balance valve all in a kit. We eliminated those and just went to a la carte. And as you can see, the same, if we go back to the website for a second. So if I go back to blue, blue, and I scroll down over, I'm just going to start here because then it'll give us all the options over here. So if I hover over, this tells me everything that is available from Watermark. And so if I click on something and it's not part of that program, then it'll just tell me it's not available for that program. But what I want you to see is that there are a lot of different options available. So we actually have, one of the things that we have fun selling are these tank levers. So you can actually buy a universal tank lever in either one of those two handles, the BL2 or the BL3, and then that will fit on most, it's not always, but most every front or side mount trip lever toilet.